Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and the squeaky chair is squeaking already, but so is the ticker right then and there. As honestly, it's just nice to go ahead and win one, you know what I mean? We've had a turgent week, we've had a really tough week in terms of results, and even tougher week in terms of performances. Some way that football me and these had to sit and endure this week would make even the biggest hater blush, as it's been poor, it's been sore, and it's good to end the week on a high. Now, does it necessarily make anything that's happened previously better? Does it instantly change those results? No, it doesn't, and they will still stick under the paw of every one of us. But all we can do is move forward and think forward as a football club, and that was 3 points. That's a clean sheet, and more importantly, what we can learn from this game that I hope really sunk into everyone's noggin at Rangers Football Club is there is players who are starters for Rangers, and there's players who are bench players at best. And I think that intro makes it very, very clear who's going to be the first person we speak about right in today's video. We're not going to faff around, troops. Nah, we're going to dive right in to the bad boy. And if you do find yourself enjoying the channel at any time, please consider hitting that like button. It definitely helps the channel out. And also, we're on this ridiculous streak of 1,000 likes a video. We're nearly at 8 weeks now, which is mad for a channel my size. So if we could keep that up, that'd be greatly appreciated. But I'll go ahead and try to earn it. And earn it is the perfect summarization and the perfect transition into the talking point I want to start with, and that is none other than Todd Cantwell, who has been on every single Rangers fan's lips, just like he's on every single Rangers fan's haters' lips. They're obsessed, they're consumed by the laddie, and we this week have been that way as well because of what happened midweek, 35 minutes into the game in European football, seeing the laddie get substituted off, seeing the laddie get embarrassed, and see the laddie take the abuse that he's had to receive since that. And if you watch yesterday's preview video, that was a main talking point in my video as well, because I wanted to see the laddie be given an opportunity to bounce back and take all that embarrassment, take all that frustration, and go out there and play in his best natural position. That's all I wanted to see, and I would even give a wee line or two saying if Clement is able to go and do that, that shows that that man is truly a manager's manager, because to make such a bold decision and such a bold thing, you could go ahead and wipe your hands and wash your hands with somebody, but to be willing to then flip that decision and say, right, I'll swallow what I think needs to happen with the team. I'll go ahead and give the laddie that everyone's frustrated by an opportunity to play where he is and see if he can go ahead and take it. And again, we mentioned earned it. For me, the laddie was given an opportunity to start as the 10 for Rangers for the first time since May. Troops. Remember when he was playing well? Yeah, this is the first time since May the laddie's played in the 10 position, and for me, he took his opportunity. No, I'm not going to sit here and bury my head in the sand and try and do revisional history based on the game and try and trick and fool anyone who missed it. Was Todd Cantwell perfect in this game? Nah. In fact, his first half, I'd argue, was one of the poorest I've seen. I think he was poorer in the first 30 minutes of this game than he was in Europe out a position, as he just seemed to maybe lose a bit of confidence and lose a little belief. It's almost like if you go, his name is Todd Cantwell, but there was moments, there was flashes, then he maybe gets the luck with the assist in the first half, and for that exact moment when he got that assist, the chest came out. I don't know if Clement maybe hyped him up in the change room at halftime, or maybe tried to change him or tweak his overall position and tell him just to stay forward. No, he doesn't need to track back. He's not playing in the right wing. Stay forward and be Todd Cantwell. For the second half onwards, I thought he was absolutely sensational. Bringing in, beating people for fun, carving defences open. Everyone we came to expect last season of Cantwell, but truly the first time we've actually seen it this year. And if you want a crazy, ridiculous stat to back up what I said at the intro regarding we know who are starters for Rangers, Cantwell's a starter for Rangers. Well, you like him or no, his talent doesn't come around very often, and we've certainly not got the type of creativity elsewhere in the squad, or where he was moved and other people were played in the position they'd have took those chances. But I'll tell you, in 70 minutes as playing as the 10 for Rangers Football Club this season, he not only equalled the overall record in terms of assists coming from the 10 position all season long. Not only equalled it, he went ahead and bet it. Now, obviously, that's an embarrassing indictment of where we are as a team and how lacking, how poor the players have been playing in the 10 this season. But it shows you what Cantwell was given an opportunity today. And for me, the laddie took it. So before I get any further on, it's brilliant to see Todd Cantwell back doing what he does best. And that's getting on the ball and being creative and causing havoc for the opposition sides. And for me, I go back to the old mindset of Rangers managers and Rangers players that once you get the jersey, if you take your chance, you keep the jersey. There is no stretch of the imagination that I think that he should then be swapped out and someone else who has done a lot less this season, despite playing in every single game this season, should be swapped out and given an opportunity. No, Todd Cantwell took it. Let's give Cantwell the opportunity. Let's just build the laddie back up, because look at the second half performance when he started to do things right, and after he got that assist, just look at what he was able to create for this football club. There's not another player besides the name of Tom Lawrence in our team that's creating that goal right there. There just isn't. And what's great about the system we saw in place today is we didn't have to say either or, nana. Troops, because we actually had genuine width outside and genuine pace, we were actually able to put another attacking midfielder. Lawrence has played that role in his career right in the centre of the park, and it just gave us an extra bit of attacking creativity. And again, we weren't free flowing and at our best, but Lawrence was very good in the second half. I thought he linked up very well, went back and done a couple of big challenges and all that as well. But to have Lawrence and Cantwell in your side, central in the park with dangerous pace on either side and a number 9 in front, you are going to create goals. You're no longer wondering where the goals are going to come from, or what are we doing, or what this. If we are lucky enough, touch wood, that Lawrence stays injury free and we can keep that going, that's a side you can build on, and obviously other pieces elsewhere to improve it, but that's a side you can look at and say, right, I see where we're going with that, and that there is dangerous, rather than the limp. What are we doing? Twisting and turning and backing and forth and nothing that we've been doing this week. So troops, honestly, I'm buzzing for Todd Cantwell to be given his opportunity and obviously to take it. And for me, it's his jersey now, and he rocks right in to the game versus Hearts, and hopefully doing the exact same, where he should actually get a little bit more space, and we might see him again build on that. So good luck to the laddie. But he wasn't the only one who impressed me in the day, and the likes of Lawrence played good in the second half. I thought Butland was massive, and we'll speak about that naturally when we get to the game recap. But I want to talk about young Ross McCausland, troops, or I like to call him Ross McCausland because I accidentally called him that once in person. Ross came into this game, and people are just overlooking this laddie now. Again, one of his very few starts for this football club, and I thought he was a danger all day, and I thought, genuinely, he was putting this Rangers side, who's got a lot of established players and a lot of double O's and 200s and 300 appearances in this team, on his back. And he was injecting something and trying to make things happen and trying to make things happen. So I know he was kind of robbed of the shine of his goal in midweek because of how poor the overall performance was. But this, for me, was just as good, as impressive as what he done in European football. Because I don't think we necessarily not only get the breakthrough because he was a massive part of it, but I don't even think we win this game if it the likes of young Ross McCausland. And this laddie is 20-year-old, so let's not forget about him in this game, because Cantwell's going to dominate the headlines, Lammers is going to dominate the headlines because they are pitted against each other. But for the player who was the most underrated and underappreciated player in that game for me was young Ross McCausland, and again, that was one of his very few starts. So long may it continue, and I wouldn't touch him either. I'd just let him go out there and do his thing versus Hearts as well. But I think it's time now we actually stop talking around the actual game and go ahead and dive right into it. If you know, you know. As we go ahead and discuss this game of football, because the opening 20 minutes simply wasn't good enough. I've been positive about Ross, I've been positive about Cantwell, I've mentioned Jack Butland, but the opening 20 minutes is simply unacceptable for a Rangers side, and it's something that needs to be addressed and something that needs to be fixed, because we keep getting told we were going to start games and how important it is. Then we start games and it looks like we're just going through the motions, man. It's so slow and it's lacklustre. It's another game of football where we don't have a shot on target in the opening 20 minutes. We are at home on the back of poor poor games that both ended 1-1. We should be starting games rip-roaring and going to attack the likes of St Mirren, but still the intensity is not quite right. We've not quite got the mindsets, because the first team in this game that actually had a shot on target wasn't us trying to play pissed off and angry after two bad 1-1 draws. Nah, it was St Mirren, and the way it came down is the ball sort of breaks to them just outside the box. I think Lundstrom maybe gets caught in the ball. He tries to pass to Cantwell, who gets caught in the ball. I can't tell you the exact. It was either one of them, and it's a shame because I thought both of them played really well in the day, especially Lunny, who I think again is flying underneath the radar. He's putting in a lot of hard work, as there's been a lot of mess and madness in front of him and no help for here, and having to do 2 or 3 men's job. I think he's setting the tone a lot of the times. He's trying to be positive. He's certainly animated and screaming at people, but this time he could possibly give the ball away. St Mirren cut out and try a ridiculous shot from range, but thankfully Jack Butland gets an outrageous hand to it, and that stops it, because that there is probably a goal if that's into any other goalkeeper in this league. I truly believe that. That save for Butland that you've probably forgot about gave us the platform to go ahead and do what we done. Phenomenal save for Big Jack, and then St Mirren had their best spell where they started whipping in swinging corners. I'm not getting into it because everyone's saying, oh no, here goes CJ and his mental breakdown regarding outswinging corners. But can just someone at Rangers Football Club, I'll stand there with posters, I'll stand there with tannoys if I need to go to Auchenhowie and say, look at the opposition and how much threat they put us under with in-swinging corners. Look how many in-swinging corners are scored each week. And then go ahead and look what we do. Because despite us not getting a shot in the opening 20 minutes, we had countless corners. But stop me if you've heard this story before. It was outswinging nothings with no pace and no nothing and no penetration and no threat. It's got to the stage as a Rangers fan, I'm now worried when we get a corner. I'm not excited about the possibility. I'm not getting up. I'm saying, oh no, right, where's everybody sitting? Because this is probably going to be a counter-attack. Because all it is outswung to the same area every time and headed away. Every single time. It really needs to address, because when you're not free-flowing and when you're not as playing well like we are right now, and even when you get to the December fixtures, having an actual good set-piece game could really be beneficial to this team. I'm not saying I'm getting better or anything like that, but can we just maybe chuck one in-swinger in now and again, put the goalie under a bit of distress? That's all I've got to say, because all I seen was us, despite Jack Butland in there, needing to ride our luck as they whipped in 2 or 3 dangerous corners that again could have flicked their way into the back of the net. And I'm sitting back saying, why is St Mirren better than corners at us? Why is that allowed to happen? So as you can imagine, it wasn't the greatest game of football. I think Tavernier had an effort to hit over the bar. Dessers went round the goalie and got fouled, but it was a mile offside. Dessers was also a mile offside with another half opportunity to play him in behind. You're sort of feeling where I'm going here, you know. I started saying to myself, now Cantwell's getting the 10, but he's having to play in front of Dessers instead of Danilo, who I think partnership and movement could really link well. But in saying that, I'm going to say something that's probably going to annoy 99.9% of people out there. I didn't think Dessers was that bad today. Aye, 2 poorly timed run. That's just who he seems to be. But I thought his link-up play was much better the day. He started the game getting bounced about like a beach ball. That was annoying me for somebody his size. But I think he grew into the game and grew into the physicality. He seemed to play a little bit more pissed off instead of the happy-go-lucky. I'm just happy to play for Rangers. He started to put himself about after getting dumped to the ground. And I thought he played a lot better, and he played an important part in this opening goal of this game. As we Rost in the right-hand side, phenomenal ball. Dessers is actually onside. He runs down the right, takes wee Gogic for a walk, paps him down, plays the ball into Todd Cantwell, who, again, just the movement, the low centre of gravity, shift the ball onto his left, does the defender, looks like he's about to take another touch, then have a shot, but Sima just says, move out the way, I'm rattling this into the back of net. Todd Cantwell gets the assist, Sima gets his goal, and we then take a 1-0 lead, what wasn't necessarily deserved at that point, but it was badly needed for this guy right here. Ross to Dessers, Dessers to Cantwell, and Cantwell to our boy Sima. And that's an assist, troops, because the letter of the law suggests the last person to touch it, if they're in their team, it's an assist. If Stephen Davis gets an assist for Becerra running by 75 Dundee United players and Russ slapping it in to the back of net, our boy Cantwell gets an assist for this. I'll leave it at that. 1-0 to Rangers, 1-0 gone into half time, and it was all about getting that second. And I thought the second half was much more enjoyable, despite, again, Jack Butler needing to make a big save in the 48th minute where they try another long ranger, and it's one of those yins that bounces just before the goalie, but you're never beating a keeper of his ability from there. Good save for Jackie Butler, probably making it a lot easier than it actually was. And then we started to dominate. Lawrence started to really get on the ball and start to dictate the game. He started to combine very well with Cantwell, then we started to rattle wee half opportunities time after time, as we created more in the next 11 minutes of the game as we did throughout the rest of the match. Again, Lawrence to Cantwell. Cantwell plays it back to Lawrence. Lawrence with a lovely little delicate first touch pass. Tavernier has a shot that's very well saved by the St Mirren goalie. He takes a safe one, takes a brave one. He put his leg in there. I started to get a little bit nervous when he went down, but thankfully the skip dog was actually alright. He was substituted later on in the game, but I imagine it's just giving Sterling a couple minutes here or there. Next after that, you had Cantwell breaking down the left centre. He plays in a beautiful ball. Dessers stays on side. Again, Dessers runs in. Cantwell's like this. I'm wide open. Just pass to me. But Dessers decides to shoot for a ridiculous angle where, again, we should just do the right football and hang. But Dessers, again, is trying to get his own confidence up. It's a bit poor. It's probably the poorest thing he'd done in the game, if I'm honest. And I'm sure when I say that Dessers played decent today, a lot of you screamed at me in the comment section for this chance right here that he really should have been two, because Cantwell is wide open. But overall, I'm just giving him his props, as I thought overall his overall build-up play was much better for what we've seen elsewhere. And if the likes of Danilo is going to need rest and rotated now and again, that type of physical performance is alright, but again, it's not the greatest performance, but I'm trying to give a praise to somebody that badly needs a little bit of praise. That should have been a second, that should have been a bit of unselfish play for Big Dessers, but it wasn't. But then eventually we started to make a couple changes as Danilo came on for Dessers, and right away, the Cantwell-Danilo partnership that has shown sparks previously started to link up, and we started to truly dominate the match. I mean, Danilo's first touch in the game is after a gorgeous through ball from Cantwell, sliding into him inside the box. Danilo's just got to take a touch and hit it, but he actually tries. It's probably one of those gins, you've heard this saying before, it's came to him too early, like it's his first touch. He takes a touch and passes it back to Cantwell when it's slightly just behind him. That should have been 2-0 again, and then you start to worry. Well, for a couple chances then and there, we usually know what happens, but thankfully the ball dropped to Todd Cantwell, who spun away for his man and hit a pass that, again, only two players in the entire Rangers team can do, and both of them was on the park at once. This time it was Cantwell. Wonderful ball to our boy Sima. And let's talk about the finish as well for the big dog, smashing it into the back of the net. We've not seen that type of composure a lot in terms of the front line of Rangers, but that's as cool, calm and collected as it gets, and it was 2-0 at that point, and that truly wrapped up the game. Cantwell's second assist, and Sima's second goal. And as the game started to peter away, as St Mirren couldn't get near it, as we had too many clever players feeling good about themselves, and confidence is such an important thing in football. The Lawrences and the Cantwells, it was gorgeous. We ended up making a couple substitutions. Sam Lammers comes on again, keeping his streak of playing in every single game this season, and the big man has another big moment. And I thought when he came on, I was like, right, the game's done. We can't lose it. This could be something again to build him back up, because I know I vent my frustration a lot. He's still a Rangers player and he's still going to be here. He's still playing in every single game, so I want him feeling good about himself. And then when Danilo spins away for his man, plays a ball, he's just got the goalie to beat him thinking, go on Sam, rattle it in the net son, rattle it in the net. And he's hit a shot and it's curved, not wide, it's curved back to the fullback of St Mirren after being through on goal. And aye, the only thing I can say is that perfectly suit and fit right into the missed compilations that's already on Twitter. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was game, that was set, and that was match. It was a comfortable, controlled 2-0 win. And if you go back to watch yesterday's preview video, it went the exact way we talked about it. It was always going to be this type of game in my opinion. I'm not going to get lost in this or lost in this. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great overall performance. But there's building blocks there, and I think we've learned an important lesson who should be at that 10. Let's give him a couple games and see where that laddie can take us, willing to take the weight of being the creative force. But that's my thoughts and opinion on the game. I thought Ross, Lunny, I thought Lawrence in the second half was great. I thought Cantwell in the second half was great, and I thought Butland deserves a special mention. They really stood out to me, as long as also, of course, the big goal scorer himself, Sima, dropping a dirty double, and no one is talking about him. must be nice. And I did think it was funny, by the way, that Clement kept Sima on throughout the game. Somewhere in Italy, Cholak is crying himself into a pillar the night saying, why could that not have been me? Because Tony Two Goals was on 2 goals 5 times for Rangers by the 60th minute, and he was subbed off by the 65th in every single game. I'll leave it right there. But aye, I've been Sage over 92. Let me know how you're feeling down there in the comment section below. And as always, I'll see you in the next video, which will be in 2 days' time. You're going to see a lot of me this month. I do apologise about that. But until then, all the best and bye-bye.